Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I look crazy right now. I actually just finished doing the makeup do's and don'ts. You can probably tell by the title. Clearly this is my do side and this is my don't side, if you couldn't tell already. I actually took the time to explain step by step every makeup application and every step that I usually take in my makeup routine. Social media is full of contouring videos and eyeshadow makeup application and lipstick tutorials, and one season nudes are in and one season they're out. I want you to be able to have a consistency with your makeup application. I try to stick to what works for me. If I know that highlighting all the way to my hairline doesn't work for me, it's probably because my face type doesn't take that kind of highlight. It just doesn't look too flattering. If you want to see how to do your makeup and how not to, please keep on watching. So we're gonna jump right into it. I already moisturized my face. I'm gonna start off with my eyebrows. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer in chocolate, and I'm using this small mirror. And now as I'm doing this, I'm holding my brow definer on the end just for a lighter application. The minute you're holding it like a pen, it's gonna be too much pressure. Now I'm just doing like hair strokes, and now I'm just literally lightly holding it at an angle vertically, and I'm just swiping it back to give it the appearance of a bit of a shade in the front. So moving on to the don't side, a lot of people hopped on the Zip Brow Pomade bandwagon, and there's ways to using this because this is not forgiving whatsoever for anyone. You really have to use less to get a better application. And I'm using this e.l.f. angled brush. So now I'm going to match the top with the bottom. And this is something that has got to stop. The way I usually do it, I use a highlighting pen. And now this one is by Cella. And I just go right under my brow, and I don't get too close to the brow. I just apply it right under so that I can use my concealer brush to blend it out and to help get closer to the brow. So now I'm using a concealer brush to clean that up. And I'm going to use a fluffier brush to blend that out. Now let's move on to the next side. I'm going to go straight into foundation, and I'll deal with the eyes after. So today the primer that I'm using is Makeup Forever Skin Equalizer, and this is a soothing primer. Now I'm only going to apply this on this half of the face because if you don't, you'll see the difference. I'm shiny, not shiny, shiny, not shiny. So now that I'm done priming my face, I'm going to move on to color correcting. Now when I color correct to cover any pigmentation on my face and to give me an even base to work off of. So first I'm color correcting with LA Girl's Concealer Nude, and it's this shade, this peachy shade right here. And I'll just apply this right below the eye, just a small amount. I'm going to blend it out with a flat foundation brush, and I'm just patting that on. So today I'm using the L'Oreal True Match, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth foundation, and I'm just applying this dotted on the face. So even if you have to combine two colors, make sure that the color matches you as much as possible. And I'm not saying matches your face, make sure the color matches your neck. So the tool that I'm using to blend this foundation out is the Beauty Blender. The reason why I use the Beauty Blender, it picks up so much unnecessary product. I'm also applying this on my ears, behind my ears, down my neck. As you can see, I'm just patting that on, but you can also check it out. I'm not bringing up that foundation under my eyes. I'm not even applying it where I applied that color corrector. So I'm gonna first start off with my concealer, and the concealer that I'm using today is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and this is a bit too light for me. And this is how I feel that you should not apply your concealer. One thing people do very often is apply it just on the darkness. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte for the Don't side, and this is in Soft Sable. So I'm mixing that with the L'Oreal True Match just to have more of a realistic finish, you know. And I'm using a flat foundation brush to apply that because I want the most color payoff. Hello. Oh my god. I want to be caramel. I just wanted to overdo it a bit so that you can see the difference as to what I'm saying. If it doesn't match you, it doesn't match you, whether it be too dark or 2 shades darker. I'm highlighting and I'm combining 2 shades. The 2 shades that I'm combining are Nude and Light Ivory. I'm kind of a little bit tanner than usual. Tanner than usual. So now I'm going in with my beauty blender, of course. So now I'm going down into bronzer, and I always do my bronzer first before setting my face because that way I'm able to use the setting powder to blend out the bronzer and make it look even more natural. So I'm using MAC Gives Me Sun, dusting that everywhere that the sun may hit me or that I may get some color. So right there on the tops of my forehead, just, you know, the sun naturally hits you up there, right? Your natural shadows on your face are cool tone, so you cannot contour with bronzer. So I'm contouring with a cooler tone right here. I use that same contour shade, just a very small amount. I'm literally picking up a very small amount and dusting it off. And this is how I usually contour my nose. Bringing that further down, but not all the way down. And now I'm just flicking it outward. And I'm also applying that on the bottom. So there you have it. This is an unnaturally contoured nose. So let's set the face. And today I'm using Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth Powder in Sun Beige. So now I'm just packing that on everywhere. And I still have to bake under the eyes. So I'm going to use my Urban Decay Razor Sharp Ultra Definition Finishing Powder. So what not to do is set your under eyes with the same face powder that you used for the rest of your face. Because if you're trying to highlight the under eyes, you're only matching it to the rest of your face. So I'm using that same Maybelline Fit Me powder. Alright, so moving on to blush. The way I apply blush is I use my Morphe. This is my Morphe E51 brush, and this is very fluffy, very soft, but it has a nice angle to it where I'm able to just like touch and pick up. There you go. This is an example of how not to apply your blush. That is way too much. So now moving on to everyone's favorite part, shimmer highlight. The way I usually apply shimmer highlight is I'll use, you know, 2 neutral shades, kind of, not dark, not too light, not too pink. And I'll just use my crown brush, and this is a stippling brush, but it's a little more dome than a regular stippling brush, and I'll just mix the two together, but I'll definitely tap off the excess, and I'll make sure to apply that on the highest points of my cheekbones. You see how I'm applying that just back there and just feathering that in so it won't look so unnatural. I'll also apply that on the tops of my forehead, above my brow. And then I'll apply that just ever so softly on the tip of my nose. I know this is a trend that has to fall in a heartbeat, but I'm still doing it. When you apply shimmer highlight, you have to remember this is going to accentuate anything that you're applying it on top of. So if you're applying it on top of your pores are going to look bigger. Done. Highlight on fleek. So we're done with the face. We're moving on to the eyes. I actually start off by setting that primer on the lid. I'm using a fluffy brush and that same face setting powder that I used earlier, and I'm only applying that on the crease. Today I'm using my Morphe E23 brush, and I'm going in with MAC's Wedge eyeshadow. As you can see, I hit the pan already. I actually hold my mirror below so that I can look down into the mirror and see exactly where my crease is, and I tilt my head back. As you saw, I was holding my brush on the end and feathering that on. So as you can see, I'm applying that with a lot of pressure. Now you can see that it's very patchy, it's inconsistent. Okay, so moving on to the lid. So to apply shadow on my lid, I'm actually going to do a matte shadow just for the sole purpose of showing you technique. I'm using Morocco by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm using a flat shader brush to pack that on. I'm going to be applying that same shade using a BH blending brush. So as you can see, this one is a lot more vibrant than this one, and also this one is very inconsistent. It's darker in some spots and lighter in others, so you have less control of the application using a fluffy brush on your lid. Now moving on to liner. For my good side, I'm going to be using my go-to liner. I know there's different formulas, different companies that come out with liners, which is okay. You can venture out and try the ones that you like and use the ones that you prefer. But the way I prefer to do my liners, using Maybelline's gel liner in Black is Black and a very small concealer brush. So I do the same thing. I look down into my mirror from above and I sketch out my line as close to the lash line as possible. So the way I wouldn't recommend doing your liner, even though there's so many different ways and different products that you can use now, is with the pencil. And to prove why, I'm using IT Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Liner. So now moving on to the lips, and I wanted to show an example of what wearing a pink nude should look like. When I want to do a pink nude, I usually stick to my MAC Please Me, and this shade is very soft and light, but it also works for my skin complexion. This is Ilamasca's Barbie Pink Nude shade. You're gonna see how bad this looks. Okay guys, so this is it. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I found it so fun to do because I know that I've done many of these, probably all of these, not at the same time, but I know in different levels of my makeup game, I definitely started certain bad habits that I shouldn't have, but I've learned, and probably will be discussing like certain bad habits that we're doing now. Practice technique, search technique options online. Basically, you have all your answers here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The links to all of my social medias are down below. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can always click on that red button. Don't forget to like this video, and see you next time. Bye.